your Southern, like you have a Southern accent that you have gotten rid of, and now you
Correct.
can. Okay.
I had a very, very thick Southern accent because I came from a town in Arkansas, like known. Well, we weren't known, but it was a very thick accent. My father sounded just like Andy Griffith, like no lie, sounded just like him.
So what is your natural speaking voice?
Well, it's not natural anymore. It's been a long time, but when I was growing up, it would be like, Todd, is that you? And I know it sounds fake, but that's actually how we spoke.
And so,
Dusty, do you go up to the movie house and get you a soda pop? That's how we spoke.
I did like your Ryan Murphy paradox piece too.
Oh, thank you. That was fun. And just because I was why do I like Doctor Odyssey and I hate grotesque?
Yeah. And it's easy to just be like, well, because it's network, but it's not just that. It's like because it actually, and you hit, and it's hard. Like I hadn't thought of it that way, but you're absolutely right.
You want like insanity, but you want it to reset instead of just keep going.
Because that's his problem. He keeps piling. It was the kitchen sink thing. Like eventually, it's like you need more kitchen sinks. It's like no. Although. Yeah, we'll see where Doctor Odyssey goes. I'm still really enjoying it, and if it just keeps being enjoyable, that's fine. But I'm definitely like, how many? Like, are they going to run out of themes? Like, how much can happen on a boat?
Well, I mean, they've done 8 seasons of 911.
Yeah, but LA is a lot bigger than a boat.
That is true. But the Love Boat ran for like 77 seasons.
Yeah, that's true. I did think the one, like, so I don't agree with that TV line theory, but the one point that she made that I really liked was like, that boat has a bunch of people and they only have 3 medical professionals and they keep fucking off to dance on a beach. And I was like, true. But, you know, they're very good.
I mean, how many medical professionals do you think you would have on a cruise ship?
Already, like the surgeries that they are performing, I'm like, that would not happen on a boat. Right? Like the fact that you have a guy who's just like, yeah, I can fix a broken penis. Like what? We have, we can fix like whatever.
That's what makes him special, Tori.
Frostbitten breast tissue. Like what?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I don't know if 3's too many or too. I mean, a cruise ship is like what? How many people are like 1,000?
Yeah, or more.
And usually they're like older. A lot of times they're older, and there's a lot of people having sex and drinking. There's got to be a lot of like. Somebody left a comment on my piece who seemed to have a lot of knowledge and experience, and was like, "This show should last 2 weeks because, we get a lot of that stuff, but after, we just see the same things over and over and over."
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that is the challenge, because it should just mostly be like alcohol poisoning, the shrimp thing over and over again.
Right.
And then if it's like a family, like people slipping and falling and hurting themselves on like a wet pool deck.
All right, I don't know if this is accurate, but thepointsguide.com, which is like the travel info site where they try to get you to, I mean, they mostly started as like, hey, here's how you like maximize your credit card points, right?
Right.
They have the whole thing. They say that the world's medical staff varies. Typically, ships have a doctor and at least 2 nurses. The world's largest cruise ships may have 2 doctors and 5 or 6 nurses. So this is about right.
To grow the cast.
Right. But this is about right, because this is like a doctor and 2 nurses.
2 nurses, yeah.
Yes, but like there are only three main characters. There's four with Don Johnson. So yeah, they could definitely like add if the show is successful, because they could probably use another love interest besides just Philippa Sue every week for the next 6 seasons.
Well, I mean, that's why they have people like Shania Twain show up or Gina Gershon.
Sure, but I feel like Philippa Sue is already like messed around with both of them like 3 times. Yeah.
Yeah, but Tristan has already decided not to. Yeah. So the triangle's over. It's just going to be her and Joshua Jackson. It's fine. It's fine.
For sure.
It's fine.
Dan, are we podcasting?
I don't know. You mean like have we officially started?
Well, I mean, is this podcast material?
Yeah, probably.
Something is.
Because I don't want to talk about Doctor Odyssey again.
Are we just going to... Wait, is there more to say about it?
I don't know. I'll just start the show around there, probably.
Yeah.
Whatever Dr. Odyssey
Are we podcasting? No, just Dustin going, are we podcasting?
Welcome
Where am I?
Another episode of Pajiba, the Pajiba television podcast. I'm Pajiba comedy editor Dan Hamamura. With me, as always, our Pajiba managing editor Tori Preston.
Hello, Dan.
Hello, Tori. And despite his protests, Dustin's name this week is Dr. Odd He Is. See?
See what I did there?
No. Dustin rolls.
Come on.
Dustin rolls.
Come on.
No, I'm just saying that, like, for someone who claims that you don't want to talk about the show, it seems like it's top of mind.
Yes.
Well, it's always top of mind. Mostly because Joshua Jackson. And what do you think about that? Like, do you think he's like the new Clooney? He's got the voice.
No, he does. And he has the kind of graying salt and pepper. But do you think he's going to end up doing more movies again? Like, I feel like he went TV, did some movies, and has gone back to the warm embrace of television. Like, right. I don't know that he can escape that again.
Clooney's making movies, but nobody's watching them. I think Joshua Jackson's probably...
Yeah, but I feel like...
more viewers.
To be fair, I feel like Clooney could make movies that people want to watch. He just doesn't have any reason to. Like, I feel like he just makes movies with his friends when he feels like it and has time, and otherwise he has an incredibly beautiful wife and a place in Italy and just is doing fine.
Fair. But he did that. Well, he made Wolves with Brad Pitt that no one saw.
Yeah, he wanted to make a movie with his friends.
And the Julia Roberts movie, which I did see, which was cute.
He was in If.
He was?
Oh, he was?
As Spaceman. I don't know who Spaceman is. I've only seen the first act of If.
Oh yeah, so you're in that phase, and Tori will be in that phase in like 2 years, where you just suddenly for like 5 or 6 years you know everything about kids' movies.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know everything. I just know it exists.
Terrible. It's an awful existence.
Tori's gonna teach her child to watch Twin Peaks at an impressionably young age.
I'm gonna turn him onto the Muppet Show, and we're just gonna watch the Muppet Show. Maybe Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Nope. I tried the Muppet Show. It is super boring if you're 3 or 4 or even 7.
Oh my gosh.
It does not get interesting until you're much older.
See, I think the case, you just have to be interesting enough as an adult that the child will submit to your will. And so that you're like, I'm going to watch this. You can do whatever you want. But this is what's on the TV. I know that that's not how the world actually works, but that's how it worked when we were kids. And so therefore...
Honestly, you lost me at the kid will submit to your will, because that's already out the window. Like, that is not happening.
How did they make it work in the 80s? That's what I want to know.
There was much less entertainment, and it was all kind of fucked up.
Oh, all right. Well, we need to return to those days.
Well, because, like, I remember... I still have not seen all of the Goonies. Or no, not Goonies. Gremlins. Because I tried watching it when I was too young and got totally terrified. But it wasn't even a scary part. It was because I knew they were going to turn evil. and the anticipation killed me. And so there was a scene where like one of them is like, still cute and fuzzy, and like a guy's bending over and he like reaches for his wallet, and I just, in my head, I was like, this is when it happens and he's gonna eat his ass, and I just like ran screaming from the room. And I have never seen the rest of Gremlins. I don't know. Is that when they turned evil? I don't know.
That's there's a lot of ass eating in that movie.
I'm just imagining young Tori screaming that in front of her parents and being like, oh no, they're going to eat his ass.
I literally like ran screaming from the room. But I also did that with the MGM Lion before The Wizard of Oz, not before other movies, only The Wizard of Oz, because I thought that was the Cowardly Lion. And when it roared, I was like, that doesn't look cowardly. That looks like somebody that's going to eat Toto. And I was just like, I'm out. Like I had a lot of anxiety as a child.
I'm trying to remember what my TV anxiety was built around. I don't know. I feel like I had weird Black Cauldron dreams as a kid. You know, the Disney cartoon.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that, it's not that that's super dark, but I feel like I still saw it like a year or two too early. And was traumatized. Also, there was a Black Cauldron video game that my cousin, not like biological, but you know, like those family friend cousins, played, and he didn't save the dog at the end, or somehow the fact that like there's like an option where you can save the dog at the end, and either he didn't do it and that traumatized me, or he did but it still traumatized me somehow. Anyway, and I haven't seen the Black Cauldron since.
Yeah.
The first movie that traumatized me was called The Last American Virgin, where a young man falls in love with a girl who gets knocked up by another man and gets dumped by that man, and then he pays for her abortion, and she is very grateful, but then breaks up with him to go back to the guy that knocked her up. And then the movie ends, and it's the saddest song. It's like a Michael McDonald song, and it broke my heart.
How old were you?
Yeah.
First grade.
Oh, my God.
Sorry.
I didn't even know what an abortion was.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That something had happened that he had paid for. Mm-hmm. And that despite the fact that he paid for something for her, she ditched him to go back to her. How do they make movies like that? Why? What a sad movie. And for kids,
it had an emotional impact, Dustin.
It did. It
did. But
it
also
still sticks with me.
But think about it. There was probably like, I mean, I'm not saying this is not for you, but like you wonder why you have this like these generations of guys who come up and think like it's enough to be the nice guy and then get resentful about it. Like I did everything right and the woman didn't choose me. And it's because of shit like that. It's like nobody owes, like you helped your friend and she did what she wanted. Like, you know, paying for an abortion is not like buying a girlfriend.
Yeah. Also, this is a canon movie. That's
a canon movie?
Yeah, so it's funny. I've never seen this movie. I have heard of it. Wikipedia described it, by the way, as a 1982 American coming-of-age sex comedy.
Oh, that was not a comedy.
There's that. But the Canon Group did like a bunch of. I feel like they did mostly like lower budget, like they have stuff that became cult classics, but.
Well, it had a Michael McDonald song. It must have. Who was the guy? Somebody famous in there?
I don't know. Hang on. I'm looking up Canon Group just to see. So, like, they started in the late 60s.
So, like, Diane Franklin maybe was in that?
All right. I'll go back to the movie. The
song was Just Once, and I think about it all the time.
Diane just Franklin, Lawrence Monason, and Steve Antin.
Nope, don't know any of those people.
Anyway, yeah. It's a remake of a 1978 Israeli film, Lemon Popsicle, which features a similar plot.
They made that movie twice? Mm-hmm. Why? Good God.
Apparently to traumatize more first graders.
Dustin, it's I think you should revisit it because it is a sex comedy.
Yeah. I think that's part of it is, of course, it was scary. Like you didn't understand where the humor would be either.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm imagining just like abortion porkies.
Comedy.
All right, the poster is mostly about the music. It says like featuring top hits from Blondie, The Cars, The Commodores, Devo, Journey, Quincy Jones, The Police, REO Speed. I mean, honestly, I kind of want to watch this movie or listen to the soundtrack at least.
I don't know. Must have been a good soundtrack. I just remember thinking the good guy doesn't always win, but that's not the takeaway that Tori is telling me that I should have had. The takeaway should have been
She didn't owe you anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that is a much better takeaway than what I had in first grade.
Yeah.
I was just
it's a tough lesson to learn. Yeah.
How did you watch this movie in first grade?
Listen, I didn't have...
I mean, like, was it on TV or was it just like...
Yeah. I think it was on HBO. And I say first grade. I must have been like 9. What is that?
No, that's fourth grade.
That's like, fourth grade.
No, I watched it pre-divorce.
8. I mean, then it's third grade.
I think you turn
it's
third grade.
8 to 9 is
That's
third
awfully
grade.
young to be
9
divorced,
to 10.
Dustin.
Yeah.
Okay.
You were pretty advanced.
My parents were still together.
So
it came out in 82, but that's obviously theatrical.
And I was 8, so I might have been 9 when I saw it, but my parents were together.
When did you start school? Like, how old were you?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh yeah, maybe. Did you start school later?
Like later, because depending on when you're born.
So yeah, I would have been. I did graduate. I was older when I graduated.
That's because I'm basing it on me, but I think I started. I was the younger end of the kids, so
yeah, me too.
So you were probably third grade.
Okay. Well, no, it was second, because third grade, the parents had been divorced.
You were a 9-year-old second grader.
I remember specifically well, I went to third grade twice. I didn't go to second grade. So
you did do it in third grade.
But I counted it as my first third grade year.
So that's second, but you should have been in second grade.
Right.
But you were 9.
And my parents got divorced in between my first third grade year and my second third grade year.
Wait, you didn't do second grade?
No.
Were you skipped ahead or why?
Yes, I skipped ahead, but then
they held you back. Oh, and they made you repeat it.
Yeah, and I was really good at the second, third grade, because I knew everything.
Because you'd done it.
Yes. I loved it.
I'm really trying to do the math here, and so you were in. So you're saying that this would have been your first third grade, which would have been your second, which would have been like when you would have normally been in second grade, but you were not.
Yes.
So, for example, I was 5 turning 6 in kindergarten. 6 turning 7 in first grade, 7 turning 8 in second grade, 8 turning 9 in third grade, 9 turning 10 in fourth grade.
Oh, okay.
I
see what's happening because my math is screwed up because I turned 5 in kindergarten.
Okay.
So because I'm also late.
I
probably should have been held back a year, but
they put me in, I didn't turn 6, because I was born in June, I didn't turn 6 until just before school let out. So I was always the youngest in class, each year. So when I say turning, it's in fourth grade, I turned 10 before we the end of the year.
Right. No, I'm late born and I think maybe I was early somehow.
Yeah.
Because I turned 5 in kindergarten.
Wow.
I entered.
They were just 4. Go to school.
Yeah, I don't know.
Get in there.
All I remember about kindergarten is I got this is literally the only thing I remember is it was Sugar Ray Leonard fought Marvin Hagler sometime during that year, and the teacher for whatever reason asked us about the fight, And she was like, do any of you know who these people are? And we're like, no, not really. We're 5. And she said, who do you think won? And she said, like, between Sugar Ray Leonard and Marvelous Marvin Hagler. And I don't know, I just liked his name better. So I said, Marvin Hagler. And she said, no. And she, like, it was like it's like she didn't yell at me, but she did yell the answer.
Like, oh, man.
And then she said Sugar Ray. I think she was a boxing fan now that I think about it. But
yeah, she had a lot of feelings about it.
Yeah, and she was talked about. I feel like she talked about how great Sugar Ray Leonard was, and I had no idea. And then 10 years later, I was like, oh, yeah, Sugar Ray Leonard was a really good boxer. But
Marvin Hagler, no one remembers.
I mean, he also won titles, so he was also good. But I don't know. I think I just liked the name Marvin, even out of all of that.
Yeah, not even Marvelous.
Yeah.
I had a thing where we did, I think it was show and tell in first grade. Mm-hmm. And my parents somehow, it was like our neighbors had family that went to Berlin and brought back pieces of the Berlin Wall, like when it came down. And they gave my parents a piece. And it was like, oh, wow, here's this like piece of history. And I'm like, again, like 6 years old. And I'm like, that's a chunk of cement. But it was like they had it. So I didn't know what to do for show and tell. So I took it to school and I had to, and I was like, okay, here's a piece of the Berlin Wall. And everyone's like, what is that? And I'm like, I don't know, like some wall in Berlin. It's just a piece of rock. And the teacher was like, you could tell she was sort of like there's nothing for her to explain because we're too young to do the history, but also kind of like, why would you bring that in? Like, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know. Apparently it's important. So I brought it. It's show and tell. Like, what do you want from me? So I was not good at show and tell. I had nothing to tell about it.
I've gone to the internet and tried to do all the calculations, and none of this makes sense. And now you've messed up my memories.
I mean, you also did 2 third grade. Like, there's a lot that doesn't add up.
Yeah, but I also specifically remember seeing this movie with my mom and dad in the same room, and they wouldn't have been in the same room if they were divorced.
So here's what I want to ask you. Is there a chance that you are older than you think you are?
Oh, God.
Oh.
Is this one of those things where your parents have been lying to you? Like, you look up and, like, your birth certificate is actually, like, you were born. Like,
that's interesting.
No.
Right?
Let's not do that.
Ooh, maybe. Dustin, I think we need to get into this. Dustin, just to reassure you, the Hagler-Leonard flight was on April 6, 1987, which is at the tail end of my kindergarten year, so my memory is accurate.
I see.
What's going on. Anyway. We spent...
Do you guys want to play a game?
Yes.
Wait, we haven't even talked about what we're drinking yet.
Oh, yeah, and I'm drinking.
Yeah.
I got.
We'll do it real quick.
Shit. I got the lambic again. I haven't had this in forever.
Yeah. Oh, very nice.
And I'm already halfway. I'm also shockingly far through the bottle, so we really need to do this quiz.
You cannot. It's impossible not to drink an entire lambic, and you still feel nothing.
I feel something, but oh my God, you feel just gross because it's so sweet afterwards. You're like, it's like you just ate like a whole pint of ice cream or something, but it's boozy. So good.
I'm doing the grab bag of beers. I have got a couple of Allagash. I've got a Bissell, and if I run out of everything else, I have this High Noon that I must have bought for the podcast maybe 2 years ago.
Oh my gosh!
Black cherry vodka and soda.
Move it into the camera.
I don't think I'm going to get to that.
Oh, okay.
Also, it should be liquor. It should be liquor before beer, right? You don't want to do beer and then liquor.
That's the kind of stuff we used to say in like college.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter now.
Now you're going to hurt no matter what.
Yeah.
We're old.
It's true.
Ask me, I have more, what is it called? Scotch. Anyway, it's some kind of Scotch. I'm not remember. No, I'm not so drunk that I don't remember the word Scotch. I don't remember the brand of Scotch. It's the same one as last week. If you listened last week, that's what I'm drinking. Also,
I
the
don't
bottle
remember what it was.
shockingly empty when I got to it today. So and I haven't been drinking it, is what I'm saying. So
Uh-oh.
The magic liquor cabinet taketh.
Yeah.
it does. It taketh as it giveth. Anyway, we should probably get to the game.
Yeah.
I almost included a question in the game about what show is currently paid sponsorship for Jefferson Bourbon.
Tracker.
It's been very popular, apparently. No, it's the Penguin.
Oh.
I haven't noticed it, but
No.
apparently it's going very well, and now a couple of other HBO shows are considering a paid liquor.
Well, they need the
sponsorships.
money.
They really do. All right.
Yeah.
I have 8 questions apiece. Am I doing this with or without the timer?
Oh yeah, so we've had some requests that we get through all of the questions regardless of time.
But I just want
I'm okay. We can try it.
our listeners to understand that if you don't put them on a time limit, they won't answer in a prompt manner. They will look up every question. They will cheat,
right?
is what will happen.
No. So I don't know if you noticed, but on my mug it says that Dustin cheats.
Yeah, mine too.
So, I have it on good authority. You can't really argue with a mug.
Yeah.
I just don't want to ruin the sanctity of the game.
I mean,
we're not going to cheat, Dustin.
I feel like we're not the problem with the sanctity of the game.
I will say, as a counterpoint to that, Dustin, the sometimes a question is 30 seconds long.
Yes.
And that makes it hard to get through all 8 under your time limit.
I worked to make this week's shorter a little bit. So we're not going to use a timer, but I will expect you to answer promptly. I just feel like I'm going to get trolled so hard.
The great part is that, Tori, he's cutting out for you too, right?
Yeah, no, he's totally cutting out for me. And I'm really worried that we're going to be sitting here not knowing the question has ended.
Dustin, you're cutting out quite a bit. No, Dustin, you're cutting out quite a bit.
I am?
I don't know what to tell you. Yes, for both of us.
You're kind of fritzing.
Has someone started streaming 4 TV shows at your house?
I don't think so. Everybody's in internet speed test. No, I'm at.
This is all staying in.
Now he's cleared up.
Okay. Maybe we're better.
Going very fast.
Do it fast. Okay.
All right. Let's.
So I'll do it fast. So you have to answer the questions fast before my.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
We get it. Okay.
All right, Dan. Question number 1. Kamala Harris will have a sit-down interview with Fox News this week. Can you name the anchor or any current anchor on Fox News that is not Sean Hannity, Jesse Waters, or Janine Pirro?
Well, those 3 are not anchors; they're commentators.
That's
and
true.
The answer is Brett Baer.
True. Correct. Despite the lack of buzz for its first 2 seasons, Amazon still plans to produce 50 episodes of what big budget series?
I could not hear that question.
No. I heard despite the lack of butt.
This
Keep
is
going.
my internet.
No. Yeah, it's the internet. Just try it again. Well, this is going to be great.
I'm sorry.
Well,
Despite the lack of buzz for its first 2 seasons, Amazon still plans to produce 50 episodes of what big budget series?
50 episodes?
Yes.
Oh, Citadel.
No. Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
This week, Apple TV Plus premiered a new Alfonso Cuarón series starring Cate Blanchett, Kevin Kline, Sacha Cohen Baron, and Leslie Manville. What's the title?
First of all, it's Sacha Baron Cohen, and the title is Amplitude.
No. It is disclaimer. What popular Netflix series provoked a minor pissing contest between the French president and the mayor of Rome about where next season will shoot?
It's the hit Netflix series Emily in Paris.
Emily in Paris, correct.
Yeah, it rhymes.
This week, Amazon released the trailer for the long gestating Nautilus, which was developed at Disney and AMC before landing on Prime Video. It is based on what classic novel?
10,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Correct. Kamala Harris cracked a beer with Stephen Colbert this week. What swing state pandering beer was it?
Yingling.
No, Miller Lite. The showrunner for what popular comedy shared a note from Standards and Practices this week, warning that graphic bestiality simulation must be avoided.
Wait, sorry, am I naming the show or the showrunner?
Either. I'll take.
James Gunn.
No, it was It's Always Sunny.
Oh, all right. Oh.
And finally, on last week's Only Murders in the Building, Meryl Streep's character got into a physical fight with a character played by what comedian?
I don't know. I don't watch that show. John
It was a
Mulaney.
big deal.
Yeah.
Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was very good.
It was really good.
All right.
I did not do well this week.
You did not do well. No, you got 1, 2,
Only one.
3. You only got 3. You got Brett Baer before you got Melissa McCarthy.
I don't watch Only Murders in the Building. I do watch Fox News.
I know, but it was all over the place. All right.
But also, I like that he also checked that, those are commentators, not anchors. So your question
That's
was
true.
wrong.
Yeah.
Well,
Just for the record on who's the sanctity of the quiz.
okay. Can you name a 4th Fox News personality or anchor?
Did you say Janine Pirro?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh. You said Hannity, Pirro, Waters, Bear. That's all I got.
Yeah. There's a guy that does the business, but I can't think of his name. No. I can't think of it.
Oh, there's that one woman on the 5 who's like the one liberal voice.
Oh, the Democrat? Yeah. I like her, but I don't know her name.
Yeah.
The hardest part of writing these questions is trying to figure out which questions Dan won't know so that I can give them to him.
I mean,
With all due respect to Tori, I know which ones she won't.
Realistically, if you ask
don't know
questions about TV shows, those are the ones I'm not going to know.
I know, but trade news
Yeah.
very well. Like, I think you read a lot of Deadline.
I read a lot of trades. I don't watch nearly as much TV as I should. Dustin's fritzing out again. I like that Tori, at least, is here to experience this. I wonder what's going on with his internet.
I don't know. I also
Right,
like
now you
the
clicked
kind
out.
of backhanded, like, it's so hard to come up with stuff that Dan doesn't know.
Yeah. What a...
Well, I mean, it's true.
Dan is too good at this quiz.
I mean, I think we are equally good.
He is
maybe in
winning
different
at
ways.
winning. I think
Yeah,
4-2.
Pretty much
think he's got
even. I
4-2.
believe it's
I am
pretty sure,
going-
pretty sure we tied a couple
50-50.
times. Yeah.
Dan, I'm going to quit and restart because I think maybe that might help because I'm now losing the two of you.
All right. Well, while Dustin leaves, Tori and I will vamp. So, which we're great at.
I am going to fail horribly.
I don't think so.
No, here's the problem, because this is the other thing. Like, there are things that I know, but in the moment I cannot. I knew it was Melissa McCarthy, and I could not come up with her name. All I could think of was Meg, like the Jason
Was that the character
Statham
name?
movie. No, the Jason Statham movie.
You mean the shark Meg?
Yes.
Because Jason
I'm like,
Statham was
I
in
know-
Spy?
Yes.
Yes.
And I was like,
All right. That's
actress M, Jason Statham, Meg, and then just got like stuck. And I know her. I knew that the answer to that question. So, and I would have said Citadel too. Because I've already forgotten about Rings of Power.
I feel like saying that why I had forgotten that Lord of the Rings existed, but also I feel like saying that it was like the reception was like I feel like it was well received. It's just nobody
lack of buzz.
Lack of buzz, yeah.
Didn't it have some buzz season 1? I don't know.
Season 1 did, but that was because Amazon had it on all their boxes.
I remember it happened. I haven't watched it because I didn't watch season 1. Right. But that's not, I know it exists. I know people are like hot Sauron or whatever. I don't know.
Was it even that hot?
I was really trying to make this week's quiz a little easier. But no, Dan, 3 out of 8.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a weird week, so.
Fair enough. Tori, here we go. Dana Carvey and Google Trends revealed this week what SNL skit is his most popular all these years later.
Chopping broccoli.
That's correct. This veteran actress returned to Law & Order this month as a series regular 26 years after her guest starring role in the long-running series.
Pass.
Mara Tierney.
Oh.
Netflix canceled a comedy starring Rob Lowe and his son after 2 seasons. What's the title?
It's something really dumb, and I always forget it. It's like, it's not Inseparable. It's like, I don't remember, but it's something about like unthreatening. No. Powerless? No. I don't remember.
It's Unstable.
Unstable. Unthreatening. Come on.
Yes. Close.
Okay.
Taylor Tomlinson admits that the scoring system on what late night show that she hosts is absolute nonsense.
At midnight?
Close. After midnight. I'll give it to you.
He froze again.
What? I don't know what the answer was.
Yeah, you froze.
You got it.
Yeah.
But you guys are freezing for me. Okay, good. What is going on?
Well, yeah, we
after.
Freeze for you.
After midnight. Okay, well, Okay.
You get it. Former Girls showrunner Jenny Connor has taken over as showrunner for a recently renewed second season of what popular and needlessly controversial Netflix series? You still don't remember the name.
Nobody likes this.
Close. Nobody wants this.
What was?
Nobody
Same
wants
thing.
this.
Come on.
Well, for the first time since he joined the cast in 2021, this week I didn't have to double check the name of SNL's Trump impressionist. Can you name him?
He's cut out again.
Yeah.
I
think I should get Nobody Wants This.
I mean, I think you're already winning probably.
But I got
we do want to get through
2 out of 3 words.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's at least 2/3 of the point.
Yeah. What was the question? I couldn't.
Froze. It cut out.
Okay. Why did you answer the SNL question?
He's froze again.
This is going great. No, I didn't hear the question.
We didn't hear the question.
All right.
It was the SNL question, and then it just cut out.
Yeah.
Did you hear the SNL question?
No.
What super popular... no. For the first time since he joined the cast in 2021, this week I didn't have to double-check the name of the show's Trump impressionist on SNL. Can you name him?
No.
Dan?
James Austin Johnson.
That's correct. What super popular Survivor cast member has been cast in the second season of Deal or No Deal Island?
Parvati?
Correct. And finally, Norbert Leo Butts was introduced as what reviled NFL coach on this week's American Sports Story, Aaron Hernandez?
Oh, Belichick.
That is correct.
I think Tori won this week.
I think she might have. Let's see. 1, 2, 3.
Are you saying we tied?
4.
Dustin?
Yeah, she got 4.5.
Did we tie?
No, 4.5. So that's a definite victory.
But Dan stole. He answered one of my questions, so that's a steal.
That's true.
So that gets him up to 4. I think we tied.
Yeah, pretty much another tie.
That's another tie.
Yeah.
I love how we just balance each other.
We're just really, there's some I don't know that you know, and vice versa. It's great.
Yeah.
I'm
really glad we didn't have the timer this week.
I don't.
Well, it wouldn't have worked anyway because Dustin's internet is screwy.
No, it's not. My internet is going great. I'm looking. I'm checking. I don't know what's going on.
Well, Tori and I can hear each other real well.
Yeah.
But you guys keep freezing on me, and you
Dustin
just froze
is
there. I
making
think
this weird face with his lips.
Am I back now? Because you froze on me.
Well, yeah. When your internet cuts out, we would freeze. That's normal.
Are you frozen again?
He's either frozen or he's just making a face. Who knows?
Anyway.
Look, the point is that we've wasted, and by wasted I mean given you great content, half the episode. So,
and now we get to talk about Survivor.
Yeah, we should probably talk about Survivor. So last week, going into last week's episode, who remembered that Genevieve existed?
Nobody,
because I did not.
I don't think I don't think I heard her say a word prior to last week's episode.
Yeah. She was kind of a person who literally every time she showed up on screen, I was definitely like, oh, right. Genevieve is a person on this season.
Yeah.
And
the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this year last week, she ended up being kind of the big player.
Yeah.
At least, through the magic of editing. But that's at the end. We should probably go back to the beginning. There's obviously a lot of, there's no love lost between Rome and Saul. That seems to be the big, the big conflict that's been highlighted the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
Also, Tori, I don't mean to call you out in person, but you wrote something in our Slack about Rome and Saul, and then it was before it aired on the West Coast. So I was like, oh no, something. You didn't spoil anything, but I was just like, oh, something's happening with Rome and Saul, and then you deleted it.
Oh shit! Yeah, I go because I thought I was in my WhatsApp group and it wasn't. It was the Slack, and I was like, no.
But it was funny. Sorry. It was funny to read that and then to see you delete it and be like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen with them. And I was not disappointed.
Yeah.
All right. So this actually makes me want. We can talk about whatever, but the first thing that kind of came to mind for me was with Rome and Saul, they've been butting heads. Rome wanted Saul out last week.
Right.
But kind of flipped when Asia wouldn't go along with their plan, or it seemed so, against their plan.
Right.
So they flipped it on her instead. But Rome was like, "Oh, I've tricked Saul. He's buying my lies." And then Saul immediately cut to Saul, who's like, "I don't believe a word he's saying."
Yeah.
This week, two things. One, we did have the moment of Rome just following Saul around, and Saul saying, will you leave me alone? And he's like, no, I don't have to. This is Survivor, which I don't think I know Boston Rob, kind of played with that mentality of you never let anyone go off alone.
Right.
You're watching them at all times so that you know what they're doing. But I don't think I've ever seen it in action, at least in this way, where it's he's literally just following him around.
As bald-faced. Yeah. It was so blatant. And to be clear, this was, they all knew, Rome had to play his idol last week.
Mm-hmm.
It was only good for one time. So anyone could have gone out and looked for it. It should have been back. So that was the danger of, they didn't want Saul to find it, or Rome didn't. And Rome still had his double vote, steal a vote, whatever, advantage going into this. But yeah, he followed Saul around, was totally obnoxious, and then also kind of tried to threaten Saul.
Right.
Which was, and did it in just the most, what was really, and we've known it the whole time, but what was great this episode was the combination of Rome being so inelegant in his gameplay, but like really thinking, because he thinks he has the upper hand all the time. And just, like his lies are terrible. Saul sees through them. He's threatening. He's not like everything he's doing is so obvious. And then the one thing that like has saved him is that he's at least moderately good at the game at Survivor. Like when it comes to challenges, when it comes to finding stuff, he's at least competent.
Right.
But during the challenge, he like nobody has ever like not like they it's like, okay, there's an obstacle course and then there's a puzzle. And this wasn't just that he lost the puzzle. It was, he was doing it and he couldn't get a single piece.
Right. And
not a single piece.
And that was one of the things I want to talk about because their tribe they were the first ones to the puzzle. And I don't think they didn't have like a huge lead, but they, you'd think that they would get at least one piece, but like their strategy for how they were doing it, where like Genevieve would hand him a piece, he'd try it and then say no, and then she'd like stack it, and so she's also just like stacking pieces in a way that like doesn't make it easy to look for if you're if they ever landed that first piece, but it kind of felt like, I mean, I understand that there are like plausible explanations for like how you would get to that point and then just be out of gas or not be able to think or whatever, just have a brain fart, whatever.
Just freeze,
Yeah, but it was so big. It felt like, oh, are they throwing this because they just want Saul out?
Yeah. And it was, the other thing was they could have tapped someone else in and they just didn't. So like as they wound down the clock, it was just, at any point, Rome could have been like, somebody else take over or switch with Genevieve, even if you don't want to pull somebody else in. But like, he didn't. And it was so painful. And it absolutely felt like they were throwing it.
Yeah.
And I don't think they were, but...
They didn't say it. I feel like normally when someone thinks about throwing a challenge, they will put that in the edit.
Yeah.
Because there have definitely been tribes that have, even if they don't end up throwing it, they talk about it at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that that they didn't throw that into the episode makes me think like, oh, that must have just been. And then also the Audition for Survivor ad after where Jeff picks up a piece and plugs it in.
Yeah, it's
he's just like not that hard.
Could you be on Survivor?
Yeah.
This is how dumb Rome is.
So, wow.
It does feel like one of those things that like is probably, I feel like it was so blatant. It's more likely that it was just a brain fart or, something like that.
Jeff asks them about it, and Rome definitely like gives his whole like, ran out of gas, kind of like, I thought I could do it and just, just total brain fart kind of. So going into it, horrible. Rome is horrible to Saul. Seems like it's pretty clear. Oh, and the other thing that happens is they do one of those potential advantage things where one person from every tribe gets sent off. So Teeny is the one from their tribe that goes.
Right.
And of course, it's like all three of you have to agree, and you each get a tiny idol. Or if you can't agree, none of you get it, and you all lose a vote or something like that. But like somebody has to agree to drop their vote. Teeny finally caves and agrees to lose her vote, knowing at that point that she is going to be going to tribal that night.
Right.
So she should have held. And the worst part is, if you're watching, if she had held out for like 2 more seconds, Caroline was about to cave.
Yeah, at least in the edit, it looked like Caroline was about to say.
Caroline like opens her mouth and Teeny's like, okay, fine. And you're like, oh, like, Teeny, you stupid hoe. What are you doing? It's like, this is because at this point, it is very clear that like they're trying to flip it on Rome. Like Rome thinks it's going to be Saul, has Genevieve, has his steal a vote, whatever. But Kashan is like going to try and convince Genevieve, and could have Teeny, if Teeny didn't give away her fucking vote, to flip it, and obviously would have Saul flip it on Rome.
Right.
So there's this plan afoot to finally get rid of Rome, which after his, terrible treatment of Saul and his performance in the challenge, you're like, as a viewer, you're like, oh my God, yes, please. Like, please just get Rome out, please.
Right.
So, so I wanted to like throttle Teeny, but like, okay, fine. She gets her little dinky, like pointless advantage.
Yeah.
And fine.
Which also is the one that, by the way, where they share power so that they all have to, it's one of those where they all have to agree to play at the same tribal.
Right.
Or people have to be eliminated. So now they're all targets for each other to try to get them out so that they have an idol.
Yeah. It's
the advantage that Austin would have taken a sandwich instead of, and probably would have been better off. But
yes.
Austin. Anyway, so Teeny kind of screwed up. So Keyshawn convinces Genevieve, like kind of talks to her, and she seems like she's up for it. Talks to Saul. He's up for it, obviously. And then I can't remember, how did it happen where Genevieve kind of realizes that she's getting played? Or like, I mean, she wasn't getting played. I think Keyshawn had a legit strategy there.
Well, part of it was that he put up her name, right?
Oh, that's it. She hears that, like, oh, we'll tell Saul that, or we'll tell whoever that to put Genevieve's name or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so and it's just that knee-jerk reaction of like, oh, he's throwing my name around, which is
how John Lovett went out.
Right, exactly. I always find that so stupid when Survivor, like, people get upset about that when you're trying to blindside or you're trying to like get somebody out. Of course, there's going to be lies and somebody else out, whatever.
Except you don't know if that's the lie.
Right.
Right.
And
like
you don't.
That, like you're saying I'm the decoy, but are you saying that to me because I'm the actual plan? Right.
Which is like, there is some truth to that. But on the other hand, it's like at a certain point, it's when people seem to take it weirdly personally. And it was like her being like, well, why wasn't it anyone else? And it's like, I don't know. So that makes her start thinking about, and they do this weird edit of all the things that Keyshawn has done. And like, she kind of realizes that, and this was the point she should have realized, that like Rome, as stupid as and annoying as he is right now, he is 100% committed to their alliance, to her specifically. Mm-hmm. So it's like, at least until the merge, where you have way bigger numbers who hate him, who he will drive nuts.
Yeah.
He is a liability. I mean, he is a benefit rather than a liability to her game. So she's kind of like, actually, what if we just get out Keyshawn? And so she engineers it. She, gets, reveals that they're targeting Rome, gets Rome to flip. But the big thing she has to do is convince Saul to also vote out Keyshawn rather than Rome.
Right.
Which was insane. That is so insane that it worked. So insane, but it made it like such good television. So she got Saul to do it because, and obviously Saul's like, okay, as long as it's not me, but like he did not want to work with Rome on this. And Rome had to go and apologize for being such a jerk to try and bridge this. But it's also great because it means going into this week, that tribe. Okay. So Keyshawn's gone. Teeny has lost her biggest, her ally.
Yeah.
She voted for Saul the previous week. So she and Saul are like Rocky. Mm-hmm. Saul hates Rome. Rome hates Saul. They had an agreement for one thing, but like, I don't know how long that's going to hold up.
Right.
Genevieve has Rome, but now everyone else realizes that she's a threat.
Right. But Saul and Genevieve, they hinted at like, they kind of had a conversation where they're like, it's almost like they're like, in a different world, we could have been a duo.
Right. So, which I would love to see happen now because I'm like, oh, Genevieve is actually more interesting than she was. So that tribe is going to be really interesting. Mm-hmm. I don't know how that's going to go.
Well, it's interesting because and Rome still really likes Teeny, it seems like. Right. So I don't know. It feels like the safe way to play it if they had to go to tribal again would be to, unfortunately, because I like Saul, but it would be to target Saul.
But the other thing is, Rome now has burned through all of his advantages. So it's also anyone could find an idol at this point.
Right.
And I assume they're all going to be trying because it's anyone's game. Rome now has like 0 power.
Mm-hmm.
So if they want to try and get him again, it wouldn't be a bad time to do it.
Right.
And I think if Teeny and Saul can team up, that might be enough to sway Genevieve.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All I know is that none of that was my favorite stuff of the week. My favorite thing of the week was when my girl Sue got a real big girl idol.
Yep.
In a splash of red paint.
Yep.
That looked like a murder scene. Almost managed to clean it up entirely. Only she missed the fact that she had it on her face.
Right.
And so everyone's like, "Are you bleeding?" And she's like, "No." And it was so awkward, and I love it. I love it.
So I was actually going to ask about that and ask the two of you, like, what would you? So, like, if that was the scenario you find yourself in, where this idol has broken,
yeah,
and then you there's red paint everywhere, would you try to clean up, or would you just book it and like make sure that you are clean? Because I felt like the strategy would be leave that, let someone think that someone found an idol, but then make sure that you don't have any evidence on you.
Yes, that's exactly what I would do.
No. My strategy would be, I found an idol. I don't know why people are scared of saying that.
You mean like you just flash it around?
I wouldn't flash it around. I would be just like, I found an idol. Because everybody knows anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now they do. But I do think, like, is an idol more powerful if it's secret? Or is
sometimes, but sometimes, like, just the fact that you have it
protects you.
Right.
Protects you.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes it makes you a target. Sometimes it protects you.
Yeah. But this is good until the final 5. So this is one, like, I would want to keep secret.
Yeah.
Because it's like that. This isn't one you have to burn in the next,
Yeah, it's also the kind of thing that you could, like, if you have a true number one, this is how you solidify that.
Yeah.
And you're like, you're the only one who knows. I have an idol, which means we have an idol.
Right.
But I don't know.
But either way, yeah, get the paint off your face, girl.
It was very funny to see that whole sequence, and then the fact where they're like, "Are you okay? Are you bleeding?"
And she's got a machete there.
Yeah.
And she's like, "I just hurt myself." No, wait, I didn't hurt myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just need some time. Go away.
Yeah.
Like literally caught red-handed.
I was also enjoying the. I mean, it was a minor piece, but the tribe that got the chickens, and they were like, "Can we just eat one of the chickens?" Like, no. Eat the eggs. That's the point.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that they're starving, so
But eat the eggs.
It has been a while since they've had chickens, hasn't it?
It does feel like it's been a while.
Yeah. Well, no. So I heard something. I don't know if this is true, but so because Sia stopped giving money to the winners last season, all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, I'm not doing it anymore." So this season, now the chickens are back. That maybe they stopped doing the chickens because of Sia.
That's interesting.
Wait, why would it be because of Sia?
I don't know if she's vegan or something. Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh. That's weird.
I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah.
Again, that's some weird thing on the internet. I have no idea if it's true.
Mm-hmm.
They may not be tied at all.
Yeah.
So Tori just listens to anything she hears on the internet.
Yes.
Like the Doctor Odyssey theory.
Oh my God. Which I don't agree with, but I read it anyway. Come on.
What is the theory, Tori?
I hate the theory.
I think it's interesting. I don't think it works, but I think it's an interesting. I feel like we don't have a lot of good fun TV theories anymore, they're harder to come by.
Yeah.
It's the Walking Dead theory. It's the same one.
It's lost. It's basically Joshua Jackson's character is dead. Or not dead. He's in a coma. So like when you find out the whole COVID backstory, it's like he's still in the hospital. He's never woken up, and this is all a dream he's having. And the evidence is like a couple of random lines that are more of him talking about what his experience was then. And then they're like, everything sparkles and has a halo. And like this ship is like, none of this makes any sense. Nobody has like any life off of the ship, you know, which also was blown to shreds when Tristan's mother showed up this week. It's like there are ties to life off of this ship. Mm-hmm. I don't think it works, mostly because that seems like something like this is, again, a network show. Right. And I don't know how you play that out for however many seasons they would potentially want this to run. Like, that just doesn't, what's the end goal of that? But I think it's an interesting one to like look at and like, you know, when you're watching it, like see if it.
I'm sure at some point they will start to play with that.
Yeah.
When like the writers, when the rumors catch up to the writers.
Right.
They'll fuck with it. Mm-hmm. And that will be fun.
Yeah.
I did see somebody in our comment section already who was like, there's no way that this show lasts more than a season because he's in a coma.
They've already renewed it. They've already renewed it.
Have they?
Did they?
Yeah. I thought they did. Did they not? I think they did. Because it had like,
it had written about that.
It's like the biggest.
Oh, yeah. Huge numbers.
Yeah. I feel like the premiere had like the biggest numbers. Like it had huge, once they added like over the first week, huge numbers.
That's great. This and High Potential are like big fucking shows. It's nice to have big shows again.
Yeah.
That aren't NCIS, CSIFBI.
But it's also interesting because this is a Friday show. I still kind of was under the impression of, and
no, it's a
like
Friday
now
show
days,
for you.
Days don't matter. But yeah, no, this is like a Friday network, which that used to be the
That's
slot. Now,
show.
like, I thought
it's a Thursday show.
Oh, that's why.
Thursday. You see it on Hulu on Friday.
I watch it on Hulu on Friday. Fuck. It's a Thursday show? No wonder it's so big. I was definitely like, why are they putting this on Friday?
Wait, is it, what network is it?
It's ABC, right?
Oh, so it leads into Grey's.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why it's so big. I mean, also because it's fun. And I am watching Grey's again, which is just bizarre.
Is there a Grey on the show?
Meredith is back.
Dustin froze at the perfect time. What?
Meredith is back.
Meredith is back.
Oh, but she's not back full time, or is she?
She's been in every episode I've seen.
Oh, all right.
Wow.
Is she like a billionaire by now? Her character, not
she's doing. Oh, no, she's doing some sort of Alzheimer's research, but also helping out in the hospital.
Oh, all right. Huh. I mean, good for her.
Yeah.
Well, we have like 3 minutes left, so we have completely used up our hour amazingly. Is there anything that anyone else wants to talk about? I weirdly did not watch a ton of TV last week, so other than Hulu Live, because I've been watching baseball playoffs, go Dodgers. Yeah, so if there's anything you guys want to talk about real quick.
From, oh my God, what's her face is like, she's having one of the night creatures. So what's her name? Tabitha? No. The girlfriend. Wife now. They got married.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. She, no, Tabitha is the mother. It's the other one. So
Fatima?
Yes. Fatima, she's pregnant and she was having a really bad morning sickness. Oh. And then she started eating and nothing, she couldn't keep anything down and was losing teeth and it was really bad. And then all the crops failed. And she found that if she ate these rotten vegetables, she could get it down and that so she started eating dead food. And then somebody got shot this week and she's like, I just want to sit with the body. And then she started putting her finger in the bullet hole and eating the blood. And I'm like, and so this definitely went from oh, maybe it's just a weird craving to oh no, she's definitely her baby is one of the monsters. She's having a monster baby. And it's a great little side thing that's going on because there's always all these bigger things, and then there's just you just have to look around for what is she eating in the back? It's just kind of this sea story that's very entertaining. But yeah, Tabitha did, actual Tabitha, the mom, was on the ambulance that got stuck, found the tree and got stuck in the town. So now there's a new ambulance. Most of the people died. The like police officer and she and Victor's father were all on the ambulance. And
oh yeah, I can't wait to see them reunite though.
yeah, they'll reunite.
That'll be
And
sweet.
that might be sweet.
Or it could be, yeah.
Also awkward.
I mean, sure.
Wait, how do they reunite after they die? What is happening on this show? I don't understand.
No, they didn't die. So Tabitha made it out of the
Unless they're
town.
all dead.
Unless they're all dead. Maybe they're all dead. Yeah, we don't know what's going on with the town. But we don't. Well, I don't think they are all dead because Tabitha made it out and then came back. Although she did have a paranoid episode where she thought actually that being in Camden, Maine, which was like the real her experience out of the evil town, that somehow that was still part of the evil town. She's like, I'm still stuck. It's all still part of it. But anyway, she found Victor's father, who has thought his son was dead for the past 40 years or whatever. And then they ended up in an ambulance, and then the ambulance got trapped in the town. So now Victor's father is going to see his son, but also is now stuck in the unending horror show From.
And the annoying guy may or may not have died.
No, well, he's alive.
Well, may or may not have.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't understand what the monsters are doing. They used to just kill people, and now they're just like screwing with people.
I don't understand what this show is about.
People get stuck in a town, and there are monsters.
I mean, I understand that people keep comparing it to Lost, but I haven't seen it. That's all I'm saying.
You should watch it.
Isn't it on MGM Plus?
Which is on Amazon.
Yeah,
the first
but
two
you have
seasons.
to pay for
No.
it.
The first two seasons are just on Amazon.
Oh, okay.
They dropped them so that people would binge it
Right.
and then sign up for the third season.
Right.
So, which absolutely worked because you get to the end of the second season, you're like, oh shit, and then I immediately was like, subscribe. I will watch, and then I got to remember to cancel it when From's over.
It looks like it is no longer available.
The first two seasons,
The first
they pulled
two
them
seasons?
down.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Oh,
Well, I mean, they're not available for free.
man.
All right.
You'll have to wait for the fourth season, and then they'll put the 3 seasons up to get people stoked.
I have a lot of stuff I have to watch. Tori, Shadow Strays is out this week.
Yes, it is.
So, not a movie podcast, but we're going to watch the shit out of that. So, apparently, it is somehow more violent than The Night Comes for Us.
I cannot wait.
I don't know how that's possible, but...
Yeah, I don't know how that's possible either. I am looking forward to finding out how.
Yeah. I remember what was supposed to be my show this week. It was supposed to be the Ali Wong stand-up special, but I haven't seen it yet. So.
Oh yeah, I saw
watched
that.
it.
That was coming out.
It was good.
Is it good?
Yes.
Does she
That's
talk
all
about Bill
Dustin
Hader?
has to say.
She makes passing references to her.
All right. I like that. So Bill Hader did when Barry was still on, he did a weekly podcast with The Ringer where they would talk about the episode, and he would say oh yeah, this thing came from this, or this is where that came from, or a lot of times it's he part of what was delightful about it was that he would constantly shout out his crew, and he'd be oh yeah, our editor came up with constructing it that way, we had no idea, but then he made it work, which is great. But then there were times where he would be oh yeah, I showed it to my friend, or I showed the script to my friend Ali Wong, and he would just say my friend Ali, and clearly it's about Ali Wong, and it's clearly if you look at the timeline, it's oh yeah, they were probably dating by that point, but it was just funny to hear that,
realize that, and then they're definitely dating. Cute.
Dustin, do you want to talk about Teacup briefly? I mean, we've hit the hour, but
No, because my internet is messed up. So I'm frustrated. And I will talk about it next week.
Well, we will do better next week. Maybe even talk about the Penguin. Who knows?
What if we never talk about the Penguin?
It's entirely possible. I haven't seen it.
It's fine.
That's what I hear. That's what you've told me. I also haven't seen episode 2 of the franchise yet. I should, but
I watched it. It is also fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fine. The best part of the episode is that during the end credits, they do a fake EPK with Richard E. Grant, where it's like, him talking about whatever. And those bits are by far the best parts of the episode.
Okay. I look forward to the end of the episode then.
Yes.
But anyway, we'll be back next week with more TV. Probably more TV than this week because, I don't know, new stuff's coming out. Shadow Strays. CBS finally will premiere their season so Dustin can talk about Tracker on CBS.
I don't watch Tracker.
It's Dustin's favorite hit CBS TV series. Tracker, starring Justin Hartley as Tracker, who tracks people. That's not his name. His name's Coulter Shaw, which is somehow worse.
Oh my God. You don't
know. No, but Jensen Ackles plays his brother.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's right.
I have seen 1,000 ads for Tracker because I've watched Survivor and Big Brother also, and the first episode of The Summit. I haven't seen episode 2 yet, but probably will continue.
Oh, I still haven't seen the first episode.
It's regular people climbing a mountain, Dustin.
I want to watch it.
It's more compelling. It's more compelling than I would like it to be.
That is what everyone I've talked to has said, and I'm like, I don't know if I can. I
don't think I want to watch it, but I do feel like I need to.
I'm like, if I just don't start, I won't feel that way.
Yeah. So part of the problem is that the host, who's like a New Zealand, I believe, New Zealand, Australian actor, he has a very good host voice. Especially for this show where he's very his voice is low, it's very gravelly. It only has a hint of his accent, so it's still he sounds like mostly neutral. I mean, not but he has enough of the accent to be intriguing, and you're just like, oh yeah, I'm compelled by this guy. I'll keep watching you. And then these regular people who apparently had no idea they were going to climb a mountain. Maybe, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Anyway. Maybe we'll talk about that. Maybe we'll talk about something else. We'll definitely talk about Survivor. Hopefully Dustin's internet will be better. Once again, another tie. It's just a real Dustin. It's a testament to you that the quiz is so evenly balanced that we keep tying. So
the sanctity of your quiz.
Yeah. Anyway, have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
Dustin can't even say goodnight.
Are you not saying goodnight?
I don't have enough internet to properly argue with you. I don't know what's going on. It does look like it does appear that it's coming and going. It's really high and then really low.